Wow. So, you know what it reminds me a bit like? It reminds me of a mouse trap. And the wire things.
First 50 miles of 50 kilometers upwards, every kilometer a line of same position, beginning here in the center. Also on the two magnetical points. Here's the north point.
Whoa.
And there is the south point.
That's amazing, Ceres. What does that all mean then, like that? What do you reckon that all means?
How the magnetic fields go. That's what you see.
So how come the one on the left looks higher than the one on the right?
I don't know. It's the north point. You can see where it is inside this. What is it? Pink, purple, green, blue area. That's where the mountain range goes around. This one seems to tie into the Russian part, going into the sea. We enable water. It goes into the sea here towards the beginning of that magnetic mountain in the sea, I guess. And that ends in the south point here. It goes backwards, upwards, immediately to the 1,000 kilometers. Kind of diagonal. And in the north we have exactly the same, but then the other way around. And what occurred to me is that you could see from the north field that it actually cuts right in the middle of this particularly big wide field in the south. So I suspect there's something more at work. And in north you see a more detailed version. So there's way more electromagnetic north than in the south. Can I ask you something? The southern point is a static point, and the north point is actually moving when we animate the time. This is just a single moment, calculating the whole directional field through drawing lines over the magnetic lines itself, and then I let the computer calculate the next position and then get the magnetic data of that position in, and so on and so on. And I do that for a whole line, and then also upwards up to 1,000 kilometers for every kilometer. And here at 50.
Can I ask you something? You know, you said that you've got the plus and minus pillars. There's plus, minus, minus, plus, all that. Well, the one on the right in Antarctica is touching below Australia. Does that mean the one on the other side at the top here is not that far from the pillar? Is it?
The magnetic point isn't based on the main flower grid. It seems more based on the twisted flower grid, but it's going east-west instead of north-south. But the outcome of the of this directional line, for example, really ties into the elevation connection. I'm not sure which one yet. And I'm looking for also the lines who go through the middle into the space loop and just come out of the other side and go into the middle again. There are several lines going that way. Cover that with another one, with another grid readout. It's zero lighting. These are specifically based on the two polar points. And around those polar points I do readouts, so I can see where the magnetic field goes. The line I get every 30 degrees, also one. The minus, and then the plus, and then the minus, plus, minus, plus, and the minus. We end up at 0.0. It's the last one. It's kind of a little bit random how these actual magnetic lines go. Don't have mostly they show these magnetic fields based on 90 degrees of the field in their own directional 90 degrees on their own direction. That's what we see then as a drawing, I guess. But this is looking at it and actually following the true magnetic lines. You can see, I saw already that there is a connection through the middle from south to north, but also one going under this field, or maybe over the south point, I'm not sure where. What goes through the space loop and comes back in the middle. So it uses also the space loop.
Really?
And then where the north is tying into that field, there is one what actually has no connection with through the Earth, through the square. And then on the other side you have another one what also just goes back into itself. And it is like we are tied into the realms beyond, and the beyond realms are tied in us in those. And the funny thing is, only the north actually moves. It's the only one what moves. So I wonder what that movement is going to make, and why that southern point is a static point but never moves.
So what are you doing in your Blender then with this then? Because obviously you've just got your phone up to the screen, but what are you doing in Blender?
For now only studying, adding new layers for every new magnetic line. And if I have enough data, I can actually animate it so I can kind of render it, you know. To actually see what you
You're so clever, Ceres.
there you see it. Oh.
Why?
And this for every step in the movie. You can actually
There's 4 compass readings across Ceres. Sebastian from Mexico, who's put 3 in, and I did one tonight. I remembered to do one of the moon.
So
But I thought you had that other video with the, the thing on the top. Is this what this is? You've already made a video of it.
I used the same movie. I made it a little bit longer, so it's not that fast in all these particular movements. But this is kind of what it animates then.
If you turn the camera around the other way, what does the other one look like? The one that's closest to the camera now, if you turned it around and went the other side.
What do you mean?
Yeah, turn it round so that, that's it, keep going round. Other way.
It's just playing the same movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've got this recorded on YouTube?
Yeah, the one on YouTube is completely rendered out of this. It's the same movie, but then without the Earth and another view.
Oh, why didn't you say that then? Because I'm recording this.
Yeah, this is not a rendered version. This is the fast display. You can see that these colors are not real. I can show the rendered version.
How come it's so much lower on the right side than it is on the left side? Is this why the stars don't match up? Is this why the stars match up? Because they're not identical.
I'm not sure how it actually relates to the star field. I don't think we can actually confirm that anything in the firmament is ever solid or whatever touchable or reachable, other than what I got out of the book of the worlds beyond the poles, in where the celestial realms are beyond the north and the south. So that's the way to go to actually reach those places. Going north.
And where's Polaris when all this is happening?
What?
Where's Polaris when all this is happening?
That first part I didn't know. All this is happening, I heard.
Where's Polaris?
North. My thinking is you have a toroidal field at work of our realm, beyond realm. And where the fields actually cross is where we find the northern point. The northern point where everything circles around. What I try to find out is what is the furthest north we have to go to have the North Pole circle exactly 90 degrees above us. And can we even go beyond? Because that's where we find our 24-hour sun on the other side, physically speaking. But if you ask me, that is beyond the half of the square, of the second square, first being the middle one, and maybe even further. Actually, no idea how to measure this, other than between the pole points, at least the visible part of how the wheel turns in upwards and downwards as the axis goes. Closer you, the more it's actually above your head, but never completely 90 degrees. And I wonder if we can even reach that point. This is why I think an airship going there and actually with 360 would record everything and send everything as much as possible back. And not only one, but 1,000 of these drones. I mean, something has to come through at some point.
I don't understand why it's so. The other one, the left one, is so high compared to the right one, which isn't.
Yeah, the north one. I suspect there is a magnetic field going under it. Figure out by going higher and higher in the start point, the magnetic field. That's how I built this up, from below to up. You can also see here in the north is a wide field, what is completely made into one thin line into the middle of that other field, and it bring deeper into the higher.
Ceres, I've been recording for 15 minutes. Is that enough, do you think?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, just amazing. The place we live in gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and what the hell is this? Why does it go this way? And then here is a complete kind of tube thing, and then here it's flattened out. And then completely disappearing into a line.
So where does that one go down then, the one on the right? Where does it go into?
Yeah, I was looking at it and then I put on the water. Now you can see it. That is actually starting here in the north. Starting here in the north of Russia. And it's okay.
What does that mean then? That Russia is lower in the like further down than Greenland, and Greenland's further up, because that's why that magnetic field has to go over it.
You see this region here? That is also part of that region here. You can look at that region here and that region there. It's like this point is going to this red region here.
Can you put your finger on it, Ceres?
And that's directly from the southern magnetic point into there. And then north goes into there. It is like this mountain range has something to do with these particular pole points.
What's that? Greenland?
Huh?
Oh, it's in the water.
Yeah, beneath the water.
And that's not the pillar.
Way beyond the
Is that the pillar?
Already. No, I suspect the pillars to be here one, and the other one around here.
I can't see, Ceres.
If you take the southern one, and you look at straight north, then you come out of this point. That's where you would have a pole point, or at least from the cloud of light grid. But there's something weird happening with north and south as well.
So you don't see...
South is way more static than north is. North has also this outwall of fields. There is one big, especially this edge wave. What the fuck is that?
Hang on.
And then I found this cloud of light grid on top of that. To line up with the mountain of in the south in Antarctica and this blue region there. But then in the top, it's different. It's way more dynamic. Because all the movement is in top of it. This is why I suspect also that the south is kind of the ground, the earth, the tree, and then above there is the heavens in two-dimensional sense already. Phase loop, you have this connection also. With North or something.
You know the one on the left?
Tied into the magnetic fields or something.
The one on the left,
actually,
you could see it coming in and then over the land and then to Antarctica. So it's like it's got like 1, 2, yeah, like that. Does the other one look like that? Just a different, like lower? Does the other, because you couldn't, yeah. Does the other one look like that one, but just slightly different?
They kind of look like the same.
Right.
But there's a way difference between the two. What you see also, wait, let's get it. Yeah. What you see here, so this middle point actually separates 4 fields. What you can see is this one bends there, the other one bends there, and then this one bends there, and this one bends there. It comes out of here. So you have actually a crossing of 4 fields. And you have the same thing at the north one as well. A little bit different. You can see how the field actually gets twisted from left to the right here at some height. So there is some play at work. But it's kind of the same thing. It's again 4 fields. Splitting one there, splitting one there, and splitting one there, and splitting one there. So it's again 4 fields coming together. And I figure I need to find out where the separation of the four fields actually ends up. Because those are actually creating the four fields. And in a sense, fields, phases, maybe this is what they mean with the electromagnetic level of everything.
Asking you, Ceres, you found all this. Are you in any doubt? This is because this looks, you know, you haven't made this up. You found all this, so this has to be what we live in.
Yeah, you can't make this up.
No.
This is too much. Nobody looked really ever in the method I did. I took a reading. The first ones were just readings from every level on every pixel to show some kind of color with a triangle, but actually following the magnetic line to see where it ends up. It's what I do here. I follow a line and that adds vertices, and at some point I have this, and that's one line. One direction, and then up the negative, and then the positive direction.
Well, I'm so glad
And
that
I have
you've
one
understood it, Ceres.
What?
I'm so glad that you've understood it.
Yeah. Yeah, who would actually figure it out?
Is this a bit more than you thought it was going to be, Ceres? You know, like, did you ever think it was going to be all this?
Nah, no way. But it sure is exciting to find it.
Ceres, you're so clever.